What's been like? Is it easy to get maintenance and repairs?
No, they'll come that first day maybe, and they'll work on it. They'll be back the next day. That next day don't never come back.
Okay.
They don't come back.
Have you had? Go ahead.
I had my air conditioner. It don't work. It worked one while, but it go off. It like it freeze up. And the man come and looked at it. He said it was froze or something. Let it thaw out, and that water be dripping down out the ceiling. It went up all my clothes.
Wow. Did they try to reimburse you?
His rent money one day, but I had been calling and telling him about the rain. When it rained, my front porch would flood. It'd be like a miniature pool. And the water would come up under the front door and the kitchen door. And I walked in the house one night, and hadn't turned the light on. I'm gushing in water, like what the, and then I go in there, turn the light on, water everywhere. So he told me, keep my money and find me somewhere else to go.
What?
After 8.5 years.
And wouldn't make any repairs?
Not until he wanted me to leave to do it.
What?
After 8.5 years, and then he wanted me to leave like within that end of that month. Because he came to get his rent, it was like May the 5th. So within that time, he wanted me out before the end of the month. By the end of the month, he said, find you somewhere else to go. So my thing is, I lost all my furniture to mold, to, the moisture bucking up my furniture, dresser drawers and stuff like that. I mean, I came here with just my personal stuff, no furniture.
And then when you moved here, you still got some
Issues.
issues. And then upstairs, it's totally just burnt. Yeah, so can you tell me some of your rental experiences here in Arkansas? What it's like renting?
Ain't worth. You tell the honest God truth, I'll save you on the beat. Ain't worth. Especially this one.
Can you give me some examples or go into
Can't get nothing fixed, don't have no maintenance. They jack the rent up when they get ready. I've been here 7 years and can't get nothing. As you see the carpet, keeps your things small.
Right, it's
You
wet.
seen the maggots coming out the floor.
Yes.
A person, I don't care how nasty you are, you can see I'm not a nasty person, but I don't
Right.
care how nasty you are, male or female, you're not gonna have maggots come out your carpet.
That's right.
It's not gonna rain through your sliding glass window in your house.
Right.
But you're low life when you complain about it. And I done been in and complain. I got tired of complaining. I had to go hustle my own refrigerator, go hustle my own damn stove. Because, well, we don't have the money. We can't do this.
But it's
we done
included.
had, 5 managers within a 3-year period?
Is it included in your lease?
What?
The stoves and refrigerators?
This is their property, ain't it?
Yeah.
They supposed to pay and clean, right?
Yeah.
And on your contract, it's at least once a year you get a free carpet clean. Don't do that. We don't do that no more. We said once a year or once every 2 years the place needed, we'll paint. But now you can't even tell what color these walls are. I've been here 7. My carpet ain't been touched yet. I got the bed to get blinds. I got to take the sheets off my bed, put on the curtains. Because, we don't have them yet. Where the hell your money going? You're charging $600 per room. 4 times 6 is $24.
Does it make
Blinds only $19.
Does it make life a little harder?
What do you mean harder?
Like
By
to
not
have
being
to-
it? Yeah. Because you're worried about your stuff. You got people walking around and coming in your apartment. You got maintenance people understand don't turn keys in. You got people leave here, leave with the keys. I've sat here this year, 2020, with 4 checks out the mailbox. These people been gone.
What made you want to get involved with Arkansas Community Organization?
Well, basically, when I found out through Neil Seeley and Bobby Taylor and Arkansas Community Organizations that Arkansas was the only state in our whole nation, in our whole country, where landlords did not have to provide safe and habitable living to its tenants, it really just made me want to change that, because I know that we can do better. Everyone deserves safe and habitable living, and that means everybody in Arkansas does as well. So if it's suitable for our whole country to understand how important safe and habitable living is, I believe that here in Arkansas, Arkansans, they should have that same opportunity.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So could you tell me some of your rental experiences here in Arkansas?
Yes, I can. They're very, very slow to our needs. We can request help as many times as we want to, and they'll give us empty promises. We deal with old carpeting, bad paint, old smells, all type of indecencies, but they just won't help us. We don't know what to do now.
Okay, so can you tell me about some of the rental experiences that you've been hearing from the tenants since you've been a part of Arkansas Renters United as a member and volunteering? And
yeah, I've seen things from like water coming down from people's ceilings, mold, lots of like big black mold, rats. Broken windows that haven't been fixed in months, people without gas for months, even during like winter time. I've seen people who complain about maintenance and other staff just coming into their apartments without knocking. People come home to their apartment to find someone in there, a strange man. People talking about being harassed by like mean, rude staff and dangerous entryways, railings that aren't there. What's the thing you spray down? Gasoline, fire extinguishers that are not there. That's right. I've just seen all kinds of just like really sort of not safe, unsafe, unhealthy situations.
So I know we've done a lot of door knocking out in the communities. About how many people do you think you've heard had a negative rental experience here in Arkansas? If you could just give an estimate of how many.
I would say I've probably only spoken to maybe 40 or 50 renters. And I'd say maybe about 20 of them have had really bad, negative things to say. Maybe that's, something like that. 15 or 20, yeah.
About 20 people.
Yeah.
With bad experiences. So do you think that if Arkansas had safe and habitable living, it would be different?
I definitely think so. I think in a lot of cases where you have an out-of-state landlord that's maybe just a investment bank, and then you have like sort of a management company that they've hired to run the place. I think especially in cases like that, but not only in cases like that, like having laws that made them have to bring the apartments to a certain level would definitely change their behavior. But I also think for small landlords, everyone having laws. Basically, it's like you can't have people, for instance, in the construction realm, just be building whatever buildings. They have to be set to a certain code because we know that people cut costs. It's a thing that happens. it should not be controversial that you need to have regulations holding businesses to account to keep them from cutting costs, so that people in Arkansas can have, can live the lives they deserve to live.
Right. A healthy life.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Great.
So can you share with me what it's like renting here in Arkansas?
I mean, personally, from my experiences, renting here in Arkansas, it has been, it's been kind of up and down. I feel like sometimes you run into tenants, or not tenants, but landowners or landlords, and they're only concerned about, the rent, right? Whether the toilet isn't working or the plumbing doesn't work, or the ceiling is leaking, right? It's all about the rent. Right, the carpets sometimes were nasty in a lot of places that I've moved into, but yet at the end of the day, like I said before, it's all about the rent. Getting the rent in on time. I do remember one specific time living here where we were without hot water for probably about 2 months. They said it was a gas problem, and so they shut the gas off up front. But ultimately, I kind of feel like there should be no reason why a person shouldn't have hot water, especially for a 2-month period. Now I can understand maybe a day or two, something like that happens. Like we get that, right?
Right.
But for 2 months, and then code enforcement was called, the city was called, right? Which also makes you think sometimes is that, and this just might speak to a bigger issue, like when there's a problem or an issue with someone who people don't feel is as important, right? Is there some kind of payoff or something that's done?
Okay, so what has been some of the obstacles working inside of the community?
Well, basically, it has been kind of a struggle to get everybody to want to come together and basically facing kind of discrimination in my own community, because I don't know why, but breaking the barrier and I guess the cultural background that other African Americans can't assist or help other African Americans in our community, that needs to change. So just breaking that barrier, that has been one of the biggest cultural shocks and difficulties working inside of my own community. But getting people to understand the importance of actually coming together to be able to exercise our rights.
Absolutely.
So can you tell me about some of your rental experiences here in Arkansas?
Yeah, horrible. But what I mean about it is that Arkansas just don't have no regards for human life. Now, what I mean for real quick, like regard for human life, I am in a complex that leading in murders and leading in shooting. It is a pandemic. And for me to have to get out mow yards and try to feed my family, I come home with a note on my door turned backwards, and I owe from when the pandemic hit. And some of these people is just taking money. So me, myself personally, if y'all want a better world, you gotta start taking care of people that stay somewhere. Cause I can't sleep if my kids don't know where they stand. You
don't want to fix it, don't want to come in. We got bad electric wires, we got bad plumbing in there. That's build up germs when it come back and flow over into your tub or into your commode or on your floor. That's a lot of bacteria. Then we wonder how this COVID-19 come. This is how, because we ain't doing what we supposed to be, because everybody messed up about this dollar bill. That's all it's about. So, on the rental history, no. is very poor, and the landlords is very poor on it. They treat us real dirty. They talk to us real dirty, especially when you all know about it. I went into my office a couple of days ago. I live in an apartment, and they've been pressuring me. They've been pressuring me, even though I enjoy it.
So after all that has happened, and what has happened, what would your desired ultimate goal, what would you want the outcome to be?
Well, I want safe and habitable living for all Arkansans, for everybody who lives in Arkansas. For them to change that specific law, I believe that is so unjust. Everybody deserves a healthy home to thrive. Everybody deserves safe and habitable living. And I just can't stress how important that would be to me, to see us make a step towards the positive. I mean, it's needed. It's 2021.
Absolutely.
They're not treating the residents right. They need to get no fax genders. They put my sister out because she's sick, her daughter's sick, talking about she have too much company. And that shit is not right. And something needs to be done about it. We tried to call 7 on your side, they haven't called us back. I called Upper Ground Management, they hadn't called me back. Something needs to be done, and needs to be done quickly before this shit get out of hand.
So are they making any maintenance and repairs?
No, and the maintenance man going around here telling people, asking folks, is y'all to move yet? That's not his job to go around here and asking people if they to move. He gonna fool around, somebody gonna hurt him. His name is Dunn.
Hey, so you're a member of Arkansas Renters United and you've been doing some door knocking and working in the communities. Can you tell me what it's been like hearing from some of the tenants who's living in the state where landlords don't have to provide safe and habitable living?
It's actually pretty shocking. I mean, I've always heard, you hear stories about how landlords take advantage of their tenants and they have like bad housing and stuff like that. But until you really talk to the people and you really actually like see these stories, it's like you're not ready. Like you think it's like, oh, it's got to be pretty bad, but it's like bad. Like these people, the people I've talked to, I mean, I'm talking about like ceilings caving in, giant rats that I've seen pictures of. They were not exaggerating. Those rats were huge. I mean, all kinds of things that just make you say like, what? Like, I can't believe that. Like, if you're not, if you haven't lived through it or you haven't like really talked to these people, you might be underestimating how bad it is. And yeah, it's inspiring to like make me feel like, I've got to do something. Like, this is not acceptable. And it's embarrassing because I like Arkansas. I love Arkansas. I was raised here. I went to school here, and I want to be proud of my state. And it's not good. So we're gonna make it better.
Awesome. So since you've been outdoor knocking, can you tell me what some of those experiences have been like for you personally as a member of Arkansas Renters United?
Yeah, I mean, it makes me feel like I'm doing, like I feel proud. I feel like I'm doing good work. It also makes me realize we have a long way to go. It's nice to really feel like I'm getting involved in people's lives and that I'm doing something, or that I'm volunteering, or like making a difference in ways that actually affect people, like on a day-to-day basis. You know, when it comes to people's housing and where they live, like it affects their livelihood, it affects their health, it affects their kids and their pets. Not something I thought about, but there have been issues with people's pets and how like some of the housing issues like really are harmful for people's pets. And it's you know, when you hear these stories and you talk to these people, it makes you like really realize how important it is. And yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
My apartment like several times, not working on anything because they've never come to my apartment and fixed anything.
He as in who? The maintenance?
The maintenance man, he's come to my apartment several times with his key. One of the times I was naked when he came to my apartment, and they're discussing my information with him, and he's going to other people close to me talking about it like, that's not your business. He's the maintenance man. He don't have nothing to do with our rent and us paying our rent and stuff like that. So why is he discussing?
Is it easy to get repairs done?
They've never come and repaired anything in my apartment.
Have you had problems?
Yes.
So share with me about some of your rental history here in Arkansas.
Well, I moved here and we was out of gas for like about 2 months before she even notified us to let us know, you know, what was going on with the gas. And we found out 2 months later there was a gas leak, so they tore up everything, so we didn't have any gas. And then my air went out, and it took her almost 2-3 months to get that fixed. And when I was staying in Summer Tree, my whole roof fell down on my son.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Did he have to go to the doctor?
He did, and I provided him with all the papers. And I told him I wasn't gonna pay rent until they can either pay his doctor bills or get the roof fixed. We stayed in that apartment for 3 months after the roof fell in with the water leaking through. Like it was just a big hole, and they just put a plastic bag, and it was just water everywhere. Still have those pictures, and yeah, so these two, they were pretty horrible. I done had some good places though, but overall I done had some horrible experience here, and they don't do anything about it.
Right.
Now my damn gang done broke on, but I guess I'm gonna buy that myself though. You know, shit like that.
So do you have anybody to come and fix stuff for you?
I mean, they got a maintenance man, but they gonna try to like, you know, at my ass, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I really go hardware to put on myself.
Right.
You don't mean knowing something. You know what I'm saying?
So what about the situation that happened this winter?
Oh, it was messed up. I mean, they got still trying to charge us for it. They talking about I owe $2,100. The other friend, my other friend, they talking about she owe $1,600. You know, but I see her.
How long did you guys have to live without gas?
I went a month. I went right at 2 months before they moved down here.
So they really kind of forced you to move from one apartment.
I ain't had no choice. I mean, you know, my shit was fucked up down there.
And you ain't had no gas.
Exactly.
So that's what you.
But then they try to get me. Then they want me to pay another $800. They want tipping them down there. For talking about some damn bed bugs. I ain't never had bed bugs. And so they still got that count down there now. They really talking about my rent $1,700.
Wow.
Because of the $800. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So then here, the other couple of months, I just didn't pay that. You know?
Right.
You know, I normally eventually have to pay him if I want to stay in.
Okay. So can you tell me about some of your rental experience here in Arkansas?
Yes, I've been here for 6 months. Once a month the air conditioner goes out. We just experienced a 3-day shutdown, meaning all the lights were off. We couldn't take a bath, no hot water, no nothing. All our food spoiled in our refrigerator. And the office people didn't say nothing about helping us. They also been putting people out. I've seen the sheriffs come here and evict people.
She never even checked on me when I took sick out here behind the gas. And I took sick behind air conditioning leaks. You know, my apartment was flooded out.
Right.
I couldn't get no one to come up here. But my caretaker, Laquita, she kept documentation of everything.
So I got a question. Did you have anybody to make your call to make your repairs?
No.
For the whole time?
No, for the whole time.
And how long you stayed?
I stayed out here till 2008 to July of this year. I moved out of here in July.
2020. So for all those long times, nobody came back to help you, assist you on any repair.
I had leaks.
And that's even when you put in work.
I went in the hospital.
Problem that we having at this particular complex, which is Chateau de Ville, Big Country, is when the first problem, the real problem started having is when the gas went out, which was September the 19th of 2019. And then the gas never came back on until January the 27th of 2020. So now the problems really started transferring from there was when the gas had went off, then it finally came back on, and then they wanted to start charging people the same rent instead of just starting their leases back over, because a lot of people out here didn't even have leases at that time.
So you said from September to January you went without gas?
Without gas.
And they were still trying to charge you?
They were still trying to charge you rent, even while the gas was off.
This is Big Country Chateau?
Yeah, this is Big Country Chateau de Ville, 6200 Colonel Gaines Road.
They'll take a deposit for it. They'll take a first month's rent, sometimes even up to 2 months rent. And then when you get a lease, you'll see that your rent may be $50 less than what they told you, or even more. I mean, they charge different prices on rent. As far as the living wise, I've experienced a lot of mold, a lot of break-ins, maintenance coming and going as they please, not getting the maintenance requests done. They just coming and going without a request. I've had issues of getting out the shower and the maintenance man just leaving from, I guess, helping himself up to my son's snacks and juice and stuff like that, and he admitted to it. Coming home from dropping my son off, and he had just been leaving the premises of my house with no work order at all.
So do they ever come to make a repair?
No, they always complain about past due balances or charges, extra charges that you don't know about. Like, you go question them, they just want their money. They can't even explain where the charge is coming from. Late fees that they'll verbally say they'll work with you on, but since it's not in written agreement, it's basically threw out the window, because if you don't give them their money when they want it, then that's over. They do a lot of verbal things. Nothing is really in paperwork form, and the way they go about talking to their tenants, it's almost like they're better than us. It's like they're not here to help, almost. They say one thing, they do another. Even when you go and make a complaint, they don't keep it anonymous. They tell who told what. I've had several cases where I made an anonymous report and they came and found me. And I don't know if they were going to be on some retaliation things, but they did come and confront me and tell me that the office did tell them, specifically who told them and made them complaint. So I've had issues with that. Nothing is really confidential.
All right, so what has been some of your highlight moments with Arkansas Community Organization?
Well, just being able to meet people like Neil Seeley and Bobby Taylor, Greg Moore, people who really care and work in the community every day. And basically those have been highlight moments of, being able to see some of the changes that I've made since I've been with Arkansas Community Organizations or Arkansas Runners United, understanding our communities a lot better, being able to meet people, building the relationships. That's just been some highlights that I've been a part of, and I'm just really happy that I know people, who care about the community. So, and care about our Kansas having safe and habitable living. So, yeah.
Absolutely.